Much better.
Wow. Okay, awesome. And then 3, 2, 1. Hello.
Hi.
Can you please say your name and just talk about what you think about the event?
Oh, wow. My name is Silvia Fernandez. I am from Puerto Rico, the USA. And what I think about the event, I love gentle teaching conferences, mostly because of the people. But I realized just now that it's because it keeps Dr. McGee alive. So I think that's the main reason why I love these conferences. But also the people are so amazing. And you get dopamine everywhere because you're hugging everyone and you're learning to have a better life from everyone. Every person that signs up to talk about something, they're talking about their lives, they're talking about the people they help, and they're talking about how we can make our lives better. And that's just amazing how this can happen in only 3 days and people from all over the world. It's amazing. Some of my friends from many years ago, they're like, Sylvia, we haven't seen you. I'm meeting new people. I'm sorry. I like to meet people. So everything is so beautiful. Also in this conference specifically, everything is just so beautiful and so well put together. It makes you feel comfortable. It makes you feel taken care of, appreciated.
Awesome. So when did you learn about gentle teaching?
You have to buy my book for that. No. I learned from Dr. McGee. I was his assistant in his last 2 years of life in Puerto Rico. We have a civil case there against my government of Puerto Rico for not taking care for the civil rights of adults with disability at some point in Puerto Rico. And so I was his assistant because he had a heart condition, and the judge in charge thought that he could use some help. So I was so happy and so privileged to be the one to be given that position.
Wow. Can you share a story about how gentle teaching has impacted the way you live?
How much time do you have?
It's up to you. We're here all day.
I have so many stories. So many stories. Gentle teaching has made me a better person, I think. It has made me realize how important it is to pay attention to detail. I have a PhD in psychology, a PhD in industrial organizational psychology, coaching, all of this. But gentle teaching, I think, was the key to bring all of it together. When I studied psychology, it was behavior that was most important, and Dr. McGee showed me, he didn't teach me, he showed me how to communicate with people. Not only with the presence, the hands, the voice, and the hands, and the eyes, but also like feel people. And for me, it was just at first it was like a game when I met him, and I could see how he could bring someone that was really high and up and aggressive, how he could bring them down to a peaceful state. It was like magic. It was I couldn't explain it. And then he would come to Puerto Rico for a week every month. So I thought every time he would leave, I was like, okay, I'm gonna find somebody that's really hard and see how he does this with someone really hard. Because there must be someone he can't do this with, you know? And I always would take him to the least well-behaved people, let's put it that way, in different homes around the island of Puerto Rico, and it was always like, he did it again. It was so beautiful. It was so beautiful and so surprising, because sometimes it's like it didn't take him much, because he was so honest with who he was with these people. He didn't have to hide. He could be like a child. He didn't have to be a grown-up. And I think that's what many people are missing in caregiving, in parenthood. They are wanting to be the grown-ups instead of just being themselves. I am like a child many times, and I love it, and some people can't deal with it, and some people are like, when are you gonna grow up? I'm 54, but I feel like I'm 25, or sometimes 15, sometimes 5.
There's
And
no way you're 54.
50,
There's
I'm
no way.
54,
I've seen 54.
no surgery.
Yeah, no kidding.
But yeah, I think he was so, we could say down to earth, but that's not nearly close to what he was. Even the best story. There was this lady that was blind, intellectual disability, and she was hard to deal with for others, of course. And I was like, okay, McGee, what about see what he can do with this lady? And so I brought him in, and I said, don't get close to her because she hits people. She's blind, and whoever gets close, of course, she must have had terrible things happen to her. But that's another story. So he sat right there, and he started, I don't even know what he was whispering, but because he was really, I was kind of at the door, just in case. And he started talking to her, and then she started laughing. He didn't even speak Spanish. He spoke Portuguese, and well, at that time he did speak some Spanish, but mostly Portuguese. He started singing to her, and just the kind voice, the welcoming voice, his presence. You know, not the hands because he didn't touch her, but in the end he was sitting right beside her, and she was hugging him, and even after he passed, when I went to see her, she heard my voice, and all she could say was, McGee, McGee. I was like, how do I tell her that McGee's not coming back? You know, so yeah, but that was amazing.
That just sounds amazing. 1 second. Wow.
Yeah, it was really beautiful to see him
they
transform
just feel
people,
each other, right?
how
Wow.
he transformed people.
Wow.
And then one day, I went into this home of all men, and there was one who was diagnosed with autism, and he was very tall, 27 years old. I was 40 something at the time, and they were going to have a meal, a lunch. And usually I didn't stay during lunch because I know they have their protocols and this and that. But then this guy, he's like, oh, this guy's really hard to help him feed himself, you know, and he wants to eat very fast. And I was like, may I try? I don't know what came over me. May I try? And he said, yes, of course. I don't know how I did it, but the man was so calm, and he was eating really slowly and waiting for me to, because apparently he couldn't do it, or he was doing, I don't know, they didn't give him the fork. So I was feeding him, and the guy was looking at me like, how many times have you seen this man? And I said, this is the first time. So I fed him, and he was calm and ate slowly and really well. Everything went perfectly. And then the guy's like, I'm so angry at myself. And I said, but why? And he said, because today is my last day. And I got to see this and nobody else did. and then soon after, I just left the house, and I got on the phone, and I tried to call Dr. McGee to tell him, I can do it now. Yeah. That was really fun. I could stay here forever, but I know you have more questions. I know you have more questions.
Here, let's switch the subject and make it about today.
Yes.
So, considering we've seen a few speakers today, who's been your favorite and why, as far as stuff that they've been talking about?
Well, I've only been able to see 3.
Mm-hmm.
The first one, Dr. Woodward, Charles, and he's amazing about talking about love and how you have to fill your love tank. I've heard him a couple of times, and I love his message. I think more people should listen to it, because even though it's something that we as caregivers know, and many will say, well, I work at an office. Yeah, but you work with employees, and maybe you have children, or you have a husband, or your parents, or your neighbors. The love tank needs to be full for everybody. I mean, you have to love yourself. And we hear it all the time, oh, you have to love yourself, but we don't know how. So it's how to love yourself. There's so many ways, but if you were lucky enough to have a parent that valued you and showed you how to feel valued, then you're a lucky person. I had the best mom in the world, the best dad in the world, the best stepdad in the world. So I am lucky that way. But people that didn't have that, they have to learn how to love themselves when they're adults. And for people that have trouble with that, I say, first of all, accept that whoever brought you up did the best they could. And sometimes that is really bad. They did the best they could. I promise you. Even if that was terrible, that was the best they could do. So then you have to take responsibility over loving yourself. And there are so many ways of loving yourself. You can go in the internet and find out. You can buy books about it. You can read. But many people take the short run and they say, well, my parents didn't, or my grandparents, or I had this, or I had that. You can have many excuses for not loving yourself. But is it really worth to have an excuse, or is it better to find ways to love yourself? So I encourage people watching this to find ways to love themselves, because it will be easier to live. It will be a happier life, more joyful, more fulfilling, and just everything becomes so easy when you love yourself.
With the way society is, right? Like, I have sympathy to those type of people that don't know themselves, don't know how to love themselves, because schedules get hectic, right? You go work whatever hours and then it's like overtime, and then now you're at home and it's like, I don't want to be real with myself, don't want to tell myself what reality is, that I don't love myself, I don't whatever. Let me turn on the TV and let me just love this, you know, let me fill my love tank with a character, you know. And then that's why people idolize these celebrities, that's why people idolize these like movie characters and stuff, because they see a version of themselves in those people, but they don't understand the fact that they too can be like that person if they just give themselves time, just like how they're giving the show time, or they're giving this. So it's
What is your name?
Ali.
Ali.
Yeah.
I'm Sylvia.
Nice.
Ali, it's very lovely what you're saying, but you know what I say to people that tell me what you just said?
What?
It's none of my business.
Exactly.
It's none of my business, other people.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, when you said exactly, I said, okay, I didn't make myself clear. Many people are worried about the other people.
Mm-hmm.
But we're talking about ourselves.
Exactly.
Do you love yourself?
Yes.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the best we can do.
Oh, I see what you mean. I see what you, exactly.
So
okay.
when people come to me, but what about the people that, I said,
yeah.
it's none of your business.
Mm-hmm.
Each one of us are here to grow in a way, at a pace, or not, or go early or go late. But it's none of our business what other people are doing with their lives. I don't know why I had this thing, I had to help everybody. And then I realized, wait, this person doesn't need my help. This person doesn't want my help. And this person needs my help, wants my help, but is not ready for it. So since I realized that, which was not so long ago, maybe 10 years ago, I said to myself, I'm going to enjoy my life. And I'm going to make the best out of it. And I'm going to meditate, I'm going to eat healthier, I'm going to choose the people I spend time with, choose the people I talk with, and the people that want, need, and can accept and are ready for what I have to say to help them. It's not me helping them, it's them helping themselves, listening to what I have to say. But it's not my responsibility to help anybody. And of course, I don't have children, so that makes it easier for me. But I chose not to have children. So if you chose to have children, remember, you can help them so far, but you have to trust that they also have a journey. And it's easy for me to say again, because I don't have any children. But if you chose to have children, then find ways to help your children in some way, and find ways to also love yourself first. That was my message last year in Portugal in the Gentle Teaching International Conference. As a keynote speaker with Michael Lewis, love yourself first, and everything will be easier. So why do you say, I love it?
No,
I
no,
love
I
it.
love it because I'm just like,
Go with me. I love
I
it.
love it.
I love
I
it.
love
That
it.
is so simple, and yet it feels
Exactly,
uncomfortable, right?
Exactly.
I love myself.
I love
And then you say again, I love that.
I'm just, it's just who I am. But I promise you, my whole life has always, like, I've seen different perspectives of everything. Like, I grew up, I was born in Iran, saw my family just have a life, right? And then we moved to Azerbaijan, and there I saw my family have nothing. Because it was just, this is 2001, we were supposed to come to Canada, and what happened in 2001? The World Trade Center, all that. So that got shut off, and now it's 4 years, because we got here in 2004, and so it's 3 years where I saw my parents struggle, and I'm a little kid, I see great and I see bad right away, and then, because they were just supposed to be here in 2001, and then it turns 2004, still not here, and I'm just seeing that, and then we come here and I see this perspective, and it's just like, I promise you, Sylvia, I'm as positive as can be. I love myself, I love everything about my life. I live by a motto that's like, get it how you live.
Mm-hmm.
Just figure it out how you live. That's how everyone is. It's not your fault that you don't have what this person has, and it's not their fault that they have what they have. It's just the cards that was dealt to them. They could go and mess that up.
How we play with the cards we're dealt with.
Exactly. Like, that's just what life is. Get it how you live. It's the cards that you have. Figure it out. There's no sulking, because there's no positive in feeling sorry for yourself.
Or for others.
Or for others. Like, just, it's all about perspective, right? People don't understand that. Like, right now we're doing an interview and I'm talking, but the whole time I'm like, am I talking too long? Sylvia needs to go somewhere, you know? But it's perspective. People don't think about the other person's perspective, stuff like that. So I try to preach this, like, to my little siblings, that, like, this person at school that was mean to you wasn't mean to you. Maybe they're mean to themselves. Maybe at home someone's being mean to them, and just little things like that. I'm trying to teach perspective, and just the whole love yourself, like, just accept yourself.
Yes.
That is like.
Yes.
Like, it's not your fault. You know, you didn't choose to get born into this family.
You remind me of something. I was talking to someone earlier, and she said, my boy is, what did she say? Is continuously testing my boundaries. And I said, your child is not testing your boundaries. Your child is testing your flexibility. Your child is testing how you adapt. Your child is testing, helping you grow. And you either go with it and grow and learn, or you stand there and say, no, you're wrong, and then you suffer.
Yeah.
So you decide.
Yeah.
You let your child help you grow or not. It's up to you.
Sylvia, you're the best. So, yeah, we're done. That was the last question.
Ah, okay.
Thank you so much, Sylvia.
Thank you, Ali.
You're amazing.
You're amazing.
I
Thank
learned
you.
a lot. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, did I give you my card?
No.
Here you go. I'm giving away 5 one-hour meetings.
Okay.
I charge $500 for that meeting. I'm giving away 5.
Wow.
So if you want
Thank
it,
you.
go in my scan it.
Okay.
Go on my YouTube, and there's a video that says how you can win 1 of 5 meetings.
Okay. Awesome. Will do. Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much, Sylvia.
Well, thank
And
you
these
for
business
doing this.
cards are awesome.
Ah,
this is good
yes.
stuff.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. Are you gonna be here all 3
Yes,
days?
yes. I told
Awesome.
Michael I'm gonna come every day, so you better have different questions for me.
Okay. We'll try.
I like sharing my